coming at the back of the Kingfisher crisis and Air India turmoil. The Civil Aviation Minister Ajit Singh has spoken exclusively to Headlines today. Let's listen in to what he told my colleague Durga Nandini.
Thank you, sir. We have Civil Aviation Minister Mr. Ajit Singh to talk to us. Sir, thank you very much for joining us on Headlines today. My first question to you would be, there are various quarters which are accusing the Ministry of Civil Aviation of being soft on Kingfisher through this entire crisis. Your response to that?
See, we are not soft and we are not hard. We are doing according to rules and law what we can do. Yes, Kingfisher has had problems. They have had many disruptions. They have financial problems. They haven't paid anybody. But now the situation, they had never had a full-fledged strike. Their disruptions only were for a day or two. In spite of not being paid, their employees were working because for two reasons, I believe. One, they were hopeful. Second thing is, things outside are not that great. So therefore, now the situation came that the engineers went on a strike. That means planes cannot be maintained. That meant that the airworthiness of the planes cannot be certified, and DGCA immediately grounded all flights. At the same time, passenger inconvenience has always been an issue. And every industry we know there are strikes and all that. But if the notice is given, then passengers are informed. In this case, even earlier, there were never any notices, but there were flash strike. This is now across the discipline strike. First time it has happened. So DGCA will make sure before he allows them to fly that they have the capacity, the manpower, the financial strength, the availability of staff to maintain their schedule and operations overall. Now that's so. Therefore, whether there is a suspension or not, they cannot fly unless DGCA. They go back to DGCA and satisfy. Second thing is DGCA is looking at all the options, whether to give them show cause notice to suspend or cancel their license. But because of a lockout, you have to look at the legal position, because lockouts are declared by management. And if you look at any industry, government, I don't think government should have the power in that case to shut down the industry, because then many management to get rid of the employees will just declare a lockdown and then declare that all employees are out now. So therefore, we are taking a legal opinion whether the DGCA can initiate that action not. But that action initiated or not, these Kingfisher will not fly unless on all those parameters DGCA is satisfied. All those parameters include financials, as manpower, as well as planes airworthiness.
So you have time and again spoken about the legal aspect, but here it is also the humanitarian aspect that's out in play. There are over 4,000 employees who have not been paid. As recent as yesterday, the wife of an employee has committed suicide. So on a humanitarian basis, the labor laws perhaps could be brought in. In that way, what can the ministry do about this?
See, that's why I said the legal view is again that when they declare a lockout, the labor laws come into play. That's what I said again and again. I have not said legal problems. Only in this case, this one thing that lockout, and as I said, it doesn't affect as far as DGCA is concerned, because he won't let them fly unless he's satisfied. Even if he gives them gives a show cause notice, he has to be satisfied on all the same factors, whether to suspend them or not suspend them. But in effect, they are suspended in a way.
This suicide of this employee's wife itself means there is duress. There's a lot of psychological issues that the employees are going through. So that is definitely going to affect, the concerns are being raised that it will affect the safety of passengers who fly if these employees are going to work. So in that case, are you going to tell the DGCA to consider this aspect? Is that also going to weigh on the ministry's mind?
See, he has also said, I saw in the papers also, and I discussed with him, that employees are disturbed today. So he is concerned about it, how that will affect the safety.
One final question, sir.
Now, if you look at to now, yes, they were under stress. That nobody can deny that. But at the same time, they are hopeful. They thought they can get, they can continue and they'll get paid. So it has to be taken. It's a judgmental thing. You cannot lay down the law. If nobody is paid for 2 months, you shut down the company. So therefore, and now as far as I know, the judgment is that because of all these issues, there is that stress factor is fully there now.
So finally, throughout the country, questions are being raised as to why Mr. Vijay Mallya is not being made accountable. Even today, Mr. Sharad Yadav has raised a question as to why he should not be booked under Section 302. This being the case, the ministry has not perhaps sought a reply from Mr. Vijay Mallya. Why is the reason? Why is that he's not being made accountable?
If Mr. Sharad Yadav wants him booked for 302, it's not the ministry which does that. There is a police. Mr. Sharad Yadav should go, any citizen, she should go to the nearest thana and file a FIR against him. So ministry is not, cannot look into that. So
the ministry can ask Mr. Vijay Mallya some questions.
As far as making him accountable, these are the issues that we have raised, that these are our powers. If plane is not airworthy, we won't let it fly. If we feel that he cannot maintain the schedule, we won't let him fly. We can't, you may like the person, you may dislike the person, you may not like his lifestyle, you may say why he did all that, but legally and according to rules, you can vent your anger on that, which Sharad Yadav can do, but that cannot change what we are allowed to do under the law or not allowed to do under the law.
Thank you very much for speaking to Headlines Today. With Pradeep Gupta, this is Durga Nandini in New Delhi for Headlines Today.
Well, Durga Nandini now joins us live on the story. Durga, even though the Civil Aviation Minister came out trying his best to defend himself, still he is treating Kingfisher and Vijay Mallya with kid gloves, if you look at what he said.
I'm sorry, Preeti, I couldn't get that last part.
Durga, still treating Kingfisher with kid gloves.
Well, yes, we see the Civil Aviation Minister actually saying that they were not soft on Kingfisher. As of now, they see a full-blown crisis, but right from the past 7 months, things have been under a crisis. Now we see Ajit Singh coming forth with his limitations, as he puts it. He says his ministry can only get into restricting the airlines from operating and can't completely shut it down just because they are in financial duress or they're not able to pay their own employees. So they're saying here, one, the humanitarian aspect will be considered, but the fact remains that the DGCA has cracked its whip. They have asked Kingfisher to suspend their operations, and as of now, the airline is grounded. But there is only so much that the ministry can do. On the other side, there is a clamor for the accountability from Vijay Mallya's side. We see politicians slowly coming forth, asking for reactions as to why he is not responding to this entire crisis. Where is Vijay Mallya in this entire scene? So we see Ajit Singh, in fact, saying one cannot blame somebody for the lifestyle that he is leading. Instead, he should only, he can be criticized for what his airline is going through, for bad business dealings. But all the same, what he's doing is not illegal. That's what he was indicating all the time. The ministry coming forth with its restrictions and saying that Kingfisher will have to sort out its own crisis by itself.
Durga, with things coming to a head right now, one can actually say there is a train of thought which points all fingers to the DGCA and the Civil Aviation Ministry. It's them who precipitated things, and only now we're seeing situations like this erupt.
Well, in retrospect, observers in the industry say that things should have been reined in long back, either from the ministry side or from the airline side. Vijay Mallya should have very well seen that this situation was going to arise. And it is a question of thousands of employees that are involved here. And we see that it has already taken the toll on one life. The wife of an employee has taken a life on this. So definitely, speaking in retrospect, a lot of things can be said. But this is where things stand as of now. Now, the question about accountability is what keeps cropping up time and again. We see Vijay Mallya maintaining a stoic silence as far as this entire crisis is concerned. He has interacted with his employees directly. He has not given them any assurance. His people are failing to win the confidence of the employees. So where does the buck stop here? That is the big question here. Vijay Mallya will be forced to answer, if not today, for a while from now.
Okay, right there, and there could be more reasons than one as to why the Civil Aviation Minister is still behaving leniently where Kingfisher is concerned, because there is trouble in his own backyard. Brace up For more turbulence in the skies where Air India is concerned, Air India pilots have now threatened to go on strike. Raising a red flag, the pilots have shot off a missive to the DGCA alleging that they are operating flights in violation of safety rules. Pilots allege Air India is forcing them to break rules and hush up facts. Even as the Civil Aviation Ministry is threatening to ground Kingfisher Airlines if rules are violated, there is absolute silence on the concerns raised by the Air India pilots of safety violations. Though the pilots have blamed the management for forcing them to violate rules, there has been no response from the Air India management. According to ICPA, 3 international flights in September this year violated DGCA norms and put at risk all passengers on board. These included Delhi-Bangkok-Mumbai flight, the Cochin-Sharjah-Cochin flight, the Calicut-Sharjah-Calicut flight. The situation in the state-owned Air India is on the boil. Pilots have alleged that they are being forced to fly in violation of DGCA rules, thus putting to risk hundreds of flights of passengers. They also claim they have not been paid for 4 to 5 months and their productivity-linked incentives have not been given either.